Yo, welcome to FKU Africa podcast. This is your host, Maneza F8. I hope you're all good. I hope everyone is getting some vaccine. So, yeah, man, I'm having a nice guest that I'm talking to in this episode. I'm privileged for him to want to talk to me. So, I did all this for you guys. I hope you're going to enjoy without wasting any time. Let's go straight to it.
Welcome to FKU Africa podcast. This is your host Maneza F8. So I'm bringing to you the baddest, the beast, the one and only man. You know him from Shooting Stars. You know him from Divers Down. You know him from Interrogation Room. You know him from Generation. You know him from Isono. You now know him from currently Mzali. I'm talking about none other than Dumisani Mbebe, ne?
Mbebe.
No, where's Bebe? No, man. You see, near confusing is funny Zen, because some of the people, they are living these ages. So we are used to that age. Bebe supposed to have those ages there. Where's the age?
No, no. Remember that writing is new in Black people. It's all in the pronunciation.
I understand, but yeah, for us, it
So
means
the B is the age is depicted by how we say it's
yeah, but for us,
yeah, but it's simple.
Mr. D, for us, the way our language is so simple, it means what you see, that's what it means for us in Xhosa. So it doesn't have those kind of things that H or C means something else. It can be can means K on in English on in some words. You see, for us, if it's A B or B A's, it's bar, not the bar. You see, so yeah, man. Otherwise, are you good?
I'm good, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm very good. I'm very good. So let's take it back, man. Let's take it back because I haven't watched anything. I was trying to get your interviews like on YouTube and stuff. I haven't seen a lot of them. So I want us to take it back because a lot of people, I'm sure, when they trying to get information about you and stuff, they don't like get full information and from you. Where are you coming from, Mr. D? Where was
Zelelwe Ngamaqo Mhlekazi mna, in the former Transkei in the Eastern Cape. Kwilala ekuthiwa phaya kulala ekuthiwa kwaSivaxa phaya. So that's where I'm from. That's my home. That's where I was born, and I grew up in Namakwa, and then the rest is history.
Is because I didn't know all along because I'm from Etsomo. Yeah, well, I'm from Etsomo. You see, that's why I'm so because Etsomo and Namakwa, it's like the same thing. We are just separated by a big river, Etsomo River. So it's
Yes.
like Ilali, some of Ilali, I used to go there as Diab and your church and stuff. So and we used to see them not very far from where we're staying. Like if you are in some places like Mbulukweza and stuff, you can see like we're like not that far away. So I'm very glad that you are coming from that side. So you grew up there and you went to school there or you went somewhere else to school?
I schooled in Namakwa, yes.
Wow. And then
Schooled in
you
Namakwa.
up until you get your matric and then you went to varsity where?
Matric, and then I went to varsity at Port Elizabeth.
Wow.
Varsity.
Wow. Is it still around? I haven't heard about Vista for a while.
Yeah, it's still there, but it's not no longer Vista now. It's but I don't know what it's called now. I think it's like the NMMU, whatever, one of the campuses of NMMU.
Oh, is this part of MMU?
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
So what were you doing in the drama? I think.
No. I did not study drama there at all. I studied BA in education, which is Bachelor of Arts in Education.
Wow, as a teacher.
You know, um, yeah, as a teacher. Yeah. So I studied education. So I studied education. So I studied BA in education, which is Bachelor of Arts in Education. Wow, as a teacher.
Wow, as a teacher.
You know, Yeah, I'm a qualified teacher, man, but I never taught. That's the thing.
Wow, you're teaching me a lot.
I'm a
I
qualified
would say
teacher.
that I've learned a lot from you. So you're teaching us in direct, I would say.
Hell, well, one will never know, One will
Oh,
never know. So, I mean,
wow.
it's something that I studied, yeah. But after graduating, I went back to my first love, which is like acting, and then I went to UCT, and then after that I went to Scotland, where I studied my Masters of Drama, and then I came back to the country and doing what I do professionally.
So you were not tempted to stay in Scotland and start something in there?
No. No, home has always been where my heart is, So
All right. So
it would have been, yeah.
yeah, that's very interesting. So from Scotland, I'm sure it was a hassle to get into into the mood, the dramas you were in. What was the process like when you came from Scotland? How did you get your first role, and what was your first role?
I still remember my first role was a theater piece called Giants, and this was in Cape Town, Artscape, and
Escape.
yeah, Artscape, and
Hi.
hello.
Ready for makeup?
There's some dressed here. Yes, I am. All right, coming now. All right.
Wow, I see cutie
Yeah,
calls.
man, let's take another 5 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, all right, cool. I'm glad. So yeah, let's talk about this first
So
role of
yeah,
yours.
yeah, Giants. It was a theater piece, and that was my very first role ever in the country. Yeah.
Wow.
And I did more of theater in Cape Town until my breakthrough in television, which was Backstage.
Backstage.
Then from Backstage,
Wow. I didn't mention Backstage. I don't
and
really
then
remember you from Backstage.
yeah, I played Shakes. I
Wow.
played Shakes there. Yeah.
So from
Shaman.
Backstage, you went to this interrogation. I'm interested with interrogation room because this is where I really liked you. This is the only place that I liked. I really liked you because in some other places you're always a villain. I don't know if you like being a villain, but you're always a nice villain though.
Ah, man, listen, villains will always be villains, and I treat every role, equally, but differently, of course, to the other because of the different constructions that they have,
Uh,
you know.
yeah.
So yeah. Okay.
Yeah, man, I see.
So
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about generations, man, because that's where I think most of people knew you from, and then that plays a big role in your pet. Is that a true the reflection of your pet in South African movies?
yeah, I mean, generations. What would you want to discuss about generations
Because
specifically?
okay, specifically, I want to discuss getting that role and the way that you portrayed it, because the way that you portrayed it was like it's something that you always wanted to do, and it was like something that was meant for you, because the way that you portrayed it was like perfect.
I mean, listen, I've missed out a couple of times on Generations, and I never really auditioned. They've always asked my agent for me to come through, but I was always like, tied down by 1 or 2 contracts in Cape Town. So it was never really turning them down, but it was just the nature of the situation then. And I remember I was left with 2 weeks in 1 contract, So I spoke to my agent. I asked them to give them a ring and tell them that I'm going to be available in 2 weeks. And the following week I was in a plane, to Joburg, for a new character, Dumisani Shabane on Generations, and yeah,
Wow. And
So it's not really like Dumisani is a character that I've always wanted to play, because it's not like I've always known about the character. It was a new character, and I didn't know the direction that they were going to take with the character and all.
Yeah, man.
So the
yeah.
rest is
No. Go
so the
on.
rest played out. The rest in terms of how I played it, was actually determined by how the character was constructed and the direction of the storyline. So yeah, I just had to do justice because that's what my mandate is, to portray the character.
Yeah, and you really did justice on that one. That one was the most memorable out of all. But my most memorable one was in Shooting Stars. That one was like that one was really so satisfying for me. When it was almost like it's over for you, and then you find your way back in the club, I was like, what is happening in here? So let's talk a little bit about, if you're not gonna go anytime, let's talk a little bit about Shooting Stars, man. How was it playing in there?
Well, by far one of the most challenging.
Wow.
Fun was had, man, because I've always not only loved, but also played, soccer, and to play a soccer star for me was something that was actually close to the person that I am. I mean, it's whether it's like amateur level or rural, amateur level. Soccer is soccer, and yeah, no. So playing Shesha Makai for me was pretty much Dumisani. In as far as how much of a player he was when it came to women, well, that's a totally different, yeah.
Hey, that guy was to miss that guy was Shesha. Yeah, Shesha was. He was a guy.
Yeah,
He was a guy that I didn't really want to be close to. That guy was a problem. He was really a problem. But for the fact that you played the sport, because coming from the rural area, especially on that side of ours, the Transkei, we are very big in soccer. We're not that big in rugby like the Sky side and the border. We are really big in soccer. Like most of us, like I know people that should have been in the Bafana colors that were playing in the rural areas in Tomo, Ekuze, in our school. People were really great, were wonderful in soccer, but they never got those opportunities. But you had your opportunities to showcase the skills that you had. It's like people who are in America, when they play in basketball movies, they get those kind of chills. They grow up wanted to being in there and playing the sport in their backyards. But for us, if we go and play soccer, at least it's something that we grow up with and we actually know. So it's evident that for you it was very close to your heart, but that the girls player side, it's a debate for another day.
Yeah, no, I guess it is, man.
Yeah. So for now, we know you from we know you are Mzali, which is I think it's off the screens now. But I haven't seen it this past few weeks. You are also in Isono, right? So which other things that we can see you in now that are on TV right now?
Well, I guess Isono is what's on TV currently. Yeah.
Okay, so
a lot more to come. Yeah.
Are we seeing? Sorry. Are we seeing Mzali Wami coming back soon?
Ah, man, that's all dependent on the producers and channel, you know. So if they want it back, you know, if they're gonna bring it back, I'm here. Hopefully, I'll be available.
No, man, they must bring it back because I don't. The way that it ended, I didn't like. I think there's more story to be told in there. There's more to come, I think. So you are. What's next? What's coming for you now?
What's next now is what I'm shooting currently, but I can't disclose.
Yeah, I understand in that. But according to you, are you producing anything? Is anything that is on the line from your side, like you're like producing wise?
There's always something in the pipeline, you know. It's just a matter of getting funding and really finally getting into production, you know. So it's an epic story, you know, and it's an Eastern Cape, you know, story, you know, a story that spans between 1779 and 1873, you know. So that's the story of Maqoma, you know.
Wow. That's very interesting, man. That's really interesting because people like that need to be celebrated, need to be known. I don't feel like like my generation knows more about those kind of people, like the great Maqoma and these two stories kind of house, those kind of stories. I don't think they're being told enough. That would be really nice.
It's the kind of history no one will ever teach in schools because no one wants you to know about it.
Man,
because it's the kind of history, it's the kind of history that that will expose, you know, the highest level of cruelty, you know, the colonizers, you know, actually committed in this country, you know, especially to the autochthonous people of the Cape Colony, you know. So why teach you that history when all it will do would just kind of like agitate you and anger you, and you know, start looking at the other, you know, our counterparts, you know, in a rather, you know, different light from how we currently do.
That's really true, because even the kind of history that I draw up learning from school has nothing to do with me, and it is nothing for me to learn about. So a lot of stuff that I was supposed to be taught about that really have to do with me, they were hidden for me. And this thing is like continuously, and it's up to us now, people like you and me, to bring those names to the table, to bring that kind of past to the table. I'm really grateful to hear you talking about those kind of things, man. I hope it's gonna come to fruition, and it's gonna come out and for people to see, and you will probably do more, because there's so much heroes that we are not known from our side.
Definitely, there's a lot. There's a lot, and it's not only Black people. You have like your, you know, Hottentots, you know, your Ongqokumeshe, you know, you have Abo, you have the likes of Siolo, you have the likes of, you know, Ndlambe, you have the likes of Mdushane, you know, I mean, Siolo being the son of Mdushane.
Of Dumisani, yes.
You know, and yeah, so there's a lot of story to be told there, you know.
Wow. And there's
a lot of story.
And there's stories about our kingdom as Xhosas, the divisions from Xhosas, Abatembu, the Zochos and stuff that can be told of who's the king, who was the king back then and stuff like that. So those are the stories that are open for us to be told, but no one is telling them.
Yeah, no, even the funders don't really want to fund you, you know, when you want to tell such stories. They would rather, you know, tell such stories themselves, you know, in a way that will kind of like soften up the story. it will not really tell what happened, but it becomes their own perspective
like the
of what happened.
Like the story of Ushaka, you see.
Yeah.
You see stuff like that. It's not really the true reflection of what has happened according to the stories that are coming out that have come out before. That it's just diluted history to make us feel like we were amounting to something, whereas uh, they crushed us, man. They crushed us, those people, and they don't want us to know that how our people fought back. And then in some ways, I've learned that Maqoma is one of the kings that was responsible for the defeat to defeat those British army, a lot of wars and battles that he won against them.
Yes, of course.
Wow.
Of course, and there's a lot, there's a lot. I mean, Maqoma fought, generals, that had fought, against Napoleon, and I mean, generals that had defeated Napoleon, Maqoma, he defeated.
Wow.
And what did he have except, the traditional, armory, which is like the spear, and yeah, you understand. So it just goes to show that, if we had guns and we had, all the artillery, the English had, and the military background that they had, we would have been far superior. They would not have been a match, to us. And it's Maqoma's story is one of the most, beautiful stories, and it's quite strange enough because it's also one of the most, saddest stories ever. Because if you didn't know this, Maqoma was actually arrested twice and sent to Robben Island twice, and the second time never came back. He died in Robben Island in 1873.
I would be lying if I say I knew that. I've never known that he went to Robben Island.
No, don't worry, you're not the only one. I mean, Mandela, when he was released, in 1991, they asked him a question, would see how did he survive in prison for 27 years? And his answer was, bendilele ndiqamele ngamathambo ekumkani yam uMaqoma.
Wow. Wow, I was really young that time. I think I was 3 to 2 years, so I wouldn't really have known about about those kind of situations. But I went back and read more and watch more of the videos, but they are very diluted. They are piece and parts. They are not really full videos, you see. So wow, that story is really touching, man. So so this Robben Island thing is not a new thing. It's coming a long way.
It comes from a long way. And remember that Robben Island back then was not a prison. It was there were no cells. It was not a prison. Like during the times of the late Dr. Nelson, Mandela. It was a place of banishment. It was a place of you were being eliminated, basically.
Yeah.
It was not a place where prisoners were being taken to be rehabilitated. It was banishment from South Africa, as it were.
Wow.
So yeah. So I mean, in the long and short of it is that's the project that I'm raising funds for, so that so that I can actually get to share the story, in different formats, with the people of South Africa, as a documentary, as a movie,
The series.
or even as a series. Yeah.
Oh, that's I'm with you on that one. I hope this thing come to fruition, and even if the first part would be a documentary that would bring more fans. So at least I want to see that happening. I'm also into music and stuff. If you need to play some music there, need my music, so you can play there. I can give you that. You see in your movies that you are coming up with, I'm good. I can create some good music for you to play in the music. That's what I can bring to the table. I hope many people can watch this and also try to offer something that they can bring, because those stories are really are very important to us. They might not be important to us now, but for our children to learn themselves on those people, because we learn ourselves through the people that came from the past. So for them to learn themselves, we need that kind of because that's why I think we are a little bit lost in our generations, because we were never taught about ourselves through the people who came before us. The only things that we learned from the likes of Hitler, likes of Lenin and Van Voort and stuff. We didn't learn through our people.
Hi.
One of the scenes has been rewritten.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
But you're ready to go, hey?
Yes, I'm ready to travel.
Amazing. I'll let you know. I'll give you a heads up.
All right. Okay. All right, man. I'll have to run. I'm going to shoot now.
Yeah. Now, thanks, man. Thanks, Mr. T. We will do this again. Maybe when you came to Cape Town, we can meet up and do it in person and have a nice chat. And thankful for this. Thank you very much.
No, thank you, man.
Great.
All right, guys. As you can see, that Mr. D was really busy throughout this interview. He's shooting, as you heard, that is shooting for a project that is coming that he cannot disclose right now. It's
Ish, Mutu, I'm in my trailer now. You know, I just changed into my
I won't take
wardrobe.
I won't take a lot of your time, Mr. T. I know you're a busy man. Which film are you recording now? Oh, it's a new one.
It's a new Netflix project, but
Wow.
I'm just barred from saying anything about the title.
No, I understand. There's no problem, man.
Netflix project. So yeah, man, we're still grateful for his time while he was still busy getting his makeup ready, getting his strips ready and stuff. So we had to do some rush. We didn't have much time to talk through the stuff extensively, but next time we're gonna go through everything. So yeah, I hope you did enjoy. Please subscribe to the podcast and check out the podcast on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get the podcast. You're gonna find it. Fikiria kwa undani ndugu Tamaku.